Hello and welcome to Life, the Universe, and Movies, where we discuss your favorite movies and TV shows. My name is Desi.
And I'm Ben. And today we have a lot of topics to talk about.
Okay.
Today, today twice. First one. A few days ago, Marvel and Fox announced that they are co-producing a TV show. Now, for those of you who don't know, Fox and Marvel are like two separate entities. X-Men, different thing. X-Men and the Marvel movies, different things right now. Deadpool is with Deadpool, and Fantastic Four also belong to Fox. So, what they announced was that Jeff Loeb, who's in charge of all the Marvel television shows besides the X-Men related ones, is collaborating with Bryan Singer, Lauren Schuler-Donner, if I'm pronouncing that right, Simon Kinberg, to make a currently unnamed show, which follows two ordinary parents who discover their children possess mutant powers. Forced to go on the run from a hostile government, the family joins up with an underground network of mutants and must fight to survive. So, what do you think of this what do you think of this premise?
Well, I like it. Something I'm looking forward to. It sounds a lot like some of the X-Men origins stories. So, well, these are obviously, it sounds like they're mutants, so
Yeah.
most of the mutants end up in the X-Men. But since this is Marvel and Fox co-produced, I'm curious, like, which universe these mutants are going to end up in. So whether they're going to be in Fox's universe with, like, the X-Men and Fantastic Four, or they're going to be with Marvel's universe with Iron Man and Captain America and all of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it as a likely thing for them to be in the MCU, but you know, anything is possible.
Well,
so,
is there a universe that you'd rather see them in?
the X-Men movies.
X-Men?
Honestly, I think that the X-Men movies, despite Origins Wolverine and some think Apocalypse, but The Last Stand and maybe the Wolverine. I'm actually a fan of Apocalypse, but
Oh yeah, I am too.
we talked about that last week,
Okay,
which now
anyway.
doesn't exist. But yeah, last week our episode was not recorded, sadly. But a lot of people like to diss on the X-Men movies, which sucks because a lot of them are really good,
Yeah. Well, I think the main thing people
especially Days of Future Past and First Class.
get mad about with the X-Men is they're not as good as the MCU movies. And
I wouldn't say that. I honestly just
would
wouldn't.
honestly say they're not as good as the MCU movies. They're still great movies, and it's just because the MCU movies are just really, really good. But that's why people don't really like X-Men movies as much.
Okay, except... Oh, okay. So, you brought up an interesting point earlier, which was that this sounds like an X-Men origin story. Yeah, actually. I think there's this group called Morlock in the comics, which is basically like very similar to the underground group of mutants that they actually have a description somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's Morlock, not 100%
Okay.
certain.
All right.
Doesn't really matter. There is a comics group that is pretty similar to that. So I wouldn't be that surprised if this is a Morlock TV show.
So is it
Hopefully that's
possible
the
they
right
could
name.
be setting that up and then be incorporating that into the universe with the X-Men?
I would not be surprised. I would also, I would be surprised if it was an MCU thing, but not as surprised now that this announcement came out, you know?
Yeah. Would you want them to do that?
No.
No,
wouldn't. I
really?
would want them to put it in the... I think at this point, unless the premise of the show has something to do with the government covering up mutants,
Yeah.
which even then, I think we would see that on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I know Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. technically actually
Well, they just
isn't canon to the MCU.
yeah, but they just announced they're making this show, so they couldn't have been planning this.
Yeah,
while
of
they're
course.
making
But
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
for a plot reason, mutants have to be around, you know? It can't just be a thing that pops out of thin air.
Well, they did have Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch just randomly pop up in Age of Ultron.
Yeah, of course.
With
And
no
we're
explanation of what they are, how they got their powers.
Actually, no, they're I believe they were made by Strucker.
Oh, so they're not.
Hydra.
They're just ditching the mutant idea.
They're just ditching the mutant
Oh, okay.
idea. When that movie came out, since Agents of Shield had the Inhuman thing, I was thinking, oh hey, they're gonna be Inhumans or something. Maybe Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen are gonna show up on network TV.
Well, the Inhumans is like the MCU's version of the X-Men.
Basically, they're completely different in the comics. Inhumans are actually basically villains until recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and even now, they're totally still villains, but Marvel is just putting them as mutant replacements.
Yeah, because they can't get the X-Men.
Absolutely sucks.
Do you think it would ever be possible for Marvel and Fox to work out some deals to get some of the X-Men in the MCU?
Oh, absolutely. But I don't think it's going to be the same cast.
Oh,
And
I see.
I think one of the benefits of the X-Men movies, that cast is phenomenal.
Yeah, true. They got Hugh Jackman. They have Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool.
That is a fantastic casting.
He
got a second chance.
Yeah,
Great.
that was amazing.
Evan Peters as Quicksilver.
Yeah, that's really good.
Great. Even so the past cast too. You got what's his name? Ty Sheridan as Cyclops.
Yeah.
Great casting. I haven't seen him in anything else.
Yeah, same.
You got Sophie. What's her name? How did I forget this? Who's the person who plays Jean Grey?
I don't know.
Game of Thrones. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but she's
Sophie.
cool.
Dude.
You have Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
So
Patrick Stewart, perfect. Absolutely 100%
he's great.
Perfect.
He didn't show up in the latest X-Men movie, though.
Yeah, he didn't. He's going to show up in Wolverine 3, which is going to be pretty cool.
He is?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, which would be awesome.
That's going to be great. I would be intrigued by the prospect of it being in the MCU. I think it would be definitely cool.
Wait, we're talking about the show again.
Yeah, the show.
Okay.
That's what. I would be intrigued by the idea.
Yeah, I would think it would be really awesome. I think it would make everything a lot more confusing, though, because the MCU never said anything about mutants because of copyright issues, and so it might confuse and mess up a bunch of things. But I still think it would be pretty cool.
I mean, Hugh Jackman is one of the reasons why he's quitting is because he can't be in an Avengers movie, which he really wants to do. I would love to see that.
That would be awesome.
But there is no way they could incorporate mutants well into this universe, especially now that we have 2 Quicksilvers.
Yeah, that would make things really confusing.
Yeah.
Unless
with different paths. That's what bothers me. There's not even a way that this Quicksilver could become Aaron Taylor Johnson, even though they look totally different.
In the comics, there's a bazillion different Earths. There's all these parallel universes.
Yeah, of course.
So they could take a Quicksilver from there, and then that could be Evan Peters' Quicksilver.
I think it would actually be cool to see a dynamic with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. And we are going to talk about this idea that I don't know if you came up with or it's been floating around the internet of a Quicksilver movie later on the show today. That's going to be pretty cool. And what we're also... so anyway, I think if they trust their audience enough, which I think the Marvel Universe honestly has a problem with doing, they don't trust their audience enough.
You think?
So they're not going to... Yeah, totally.
Give me some examples.
Age of Ultron completely disregards all of Iron Man 3. Basically all of Winter Soldier. Doesn't acknowledge any events but Avengers. Because Avengers makes the most money. So...
Well, that's what most people saw, too, so...
Exactly. So when Joss Whedon went into making a sequel, he didn't use the same... He basically ignored all of the character development that had happened, 100% ignoring Iron Man's. And I think Iron Man 3 is a terrible movie.
Yes.
And I think the game-changing revelation revealed at the end is sort of lame, honestly.
Yeah, well, I thought the action in Iron Man 3 was pretty good.
And they do explain how that happened in Civil War, which is cool. Except it's just I don't know. It's just not. I'm not a huge fan of what they did in that movie.
Okay.
Anyway,
So back to the Fox and Marvel co-thing that we're thinking they could put like Quicksilver in one of the Marvel movies, but maybe we should just start with, should there be a Quicksilver movie? Would that be cool?
should there be a Quicksilver movie?
Because
yeah,
in an interview, Evan Peters, the actor who plays Quicksilver,
for the X-Men movies,
Yeah.
Aaron Taylor Johnson is the one for.
for the
He's dead. By the way,
the-
spoilers for
okay.
a year ago.
Okay. Evan Peters, who plays Quicksilver in the X-Men movies, he kind of said this as a joke, but he was like, yeah, I would love to do a Quicksilver movie if they did it. He said it might take 3 years to film because Quicksilver's scenes all take a long time to film. But I think that would be awesome.
Evan Peters seems like an awesome person.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would love to sit down and talk with that guy. But actually, to illustrate this point, yesterday I actually bought Marvel Unlimited, which is basically it takes almost all of Marvel comics, like almost all of them, and it costs like $69 a year or something, which is really cheap. So basically, you can read digital versions of all of the Marvel comics. I sound like I'm being paid to do this, but I'm not. I promise.
Okay.
And so, right here, I have the Quicksilver's first line of dialogue ever.
Oh boy.
Now, this is deep and insightful. It's very important, actually. I know if you just feel so overwhelmed by this line, so that's fine.
All right, Ben. Thanks for the heads up.
Here it is. Toad, must you chomp your food like that? My sister happens to be at the table. You obnoxious fool.
Okay, I need some context behind this because I did not expect that.
Okay, so basically, the X-Men are like at a table, and then Stan Lee just transitions to another table of mutants, which is the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, which is how where Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver were. This is Uncanny X-Men number 4, by the way.
Okay.
Scarlet Witch, by the way, originally had a green costume on the cover, despite her name being a Scarlet.
Yes,
the Scarlet Witch. In the actual book, it's red, so I assume or Scarlet even. I assume it's a coloring error. It probably is.
Yeah. Or well, if you saw it online, it could have been a scanning error too, or something.
Yeah, that's true. It's a famous error. But the topic of a Quicksilver movie, especially an X-Men one, I think is awesome.
Yes,
because
people always say like the Flash is everyone's favorite speedster, but honestly, I think Quicksilver is really liked too for a speedster.
I think Quicksilver in the movies is definitely a more interesting character.
Yeah,
than the Flash.
Yeah, but
he may not be as deeply conflicted and stuff as the Flash.
Yeah,
We're talking about the Flash TV show versus
Yeah.
the X-Men movie version of Quicksilver. Quicksilver in the comics is sort of similar to that of Apocalypse's one. Days of Future Past, not so much.
Well, he didn't really appear much in Days of Future Past.
Yeah, that's true. Quicksilver is also very, very overpowered compared to what he is in the comics. Quicksilver can basically go at any speed he wants in the movie. However, in the comics, he has very defined limits. He has never gone that fast, as far as I'm aware of.
Do you think that would make it boring in a movie if we had someone like Quicksilver, who's a very fun hero, but he's also super overpowered? Do you think that would make everything boring?
No, because we have the Flash TV show.
Yeah,
which
true.
Flash usually goes at speeds faster than Quicksilver. He's just stupid. So he's just a stupid character.
No, but in the Flash show, you never really worry about him, though.
Yeah, that's true. Except you can worry about friends, and it's not as showed with various Superman media, the fact that these characters exist at all and that these characters have been around for a long time All-Star Superman is a great example of taking a powerful character and actually giving him more powers and showing that you can make a very interesting story off of this character.
Yeah, true.
I'm not sure if you've read that story, but really good.
Well, back to the topic with a Quicksilver movie. I think I would love to see that, but I kind of have my doubts, I guess, because Quicksilver's always been a side character, and I think he's a really good side character, but would he work as a protagonist?
So, there is a book called Son of M, and I'm not sure if Quicksilver has any other single stories.
Yeah.
This is the only one I've actually read. Basically, it's very, very deep into mythology. Deep into Marvel mythology.
Boy.
Yeah. It takes place I'm gonna say directly. Yeah, it takes place directly after House of M ends, which is where all the mutants lose all their powers and stuff.
Oh no.
So Quicksilver is one of those mutants, but he discovers that the Inhumans can give back his powers. So basically, he steals the stuff that the Inhumans use to give back his powers. And if you didn't know, Quicksilver was actually married to Crystal, who's an Inhuman, and has a daughter. And I don't even know. Crystal is currently still alive or whatever. I don't know what happened to the daughter. I haven't heard about her.
If that's like one of the only Quicksilver independent comics, then is there much they could base a movie off of?
Yeah. No, there's not really, honestly. But I think you could take the interesting dynamic of Magneto being Quicksilver's father that they kind of explored in X-Men Apocalypse. And I think you could take Michael Fassbender's Magneto.
Yeah.
Set it maybe like a year after Apocalypse. Mm-hmm. Would be great. Great movie. Maybe not the best movie.
I think it would be really good.
Certainly entertaining.
But it would...
If they know what they're doing.
Yeah. It would also take forever to film as, Quicksilver scenes in Days of Future Past and Apocalypse. They took, over a month each to film.
Oh, yeah.
And we're assuming there'd be multiple, time-free scenes.
Yeah. I think just based on Quicksilver's popularity in general, I think it's probably a likely thing.
That what?
That Quicksilver will get a movie of his own.
That would be
at some point.
Sick. It would. You'll have to wait a while though.
I do not. I think they would have to extrapolate a lot on the source material, which is something that the X-Men movies do a lot. Bryan Singer is famous for taking names of characters and their power sets and making them nothing like those characters.
Yeah.
Which I personally appreciate. A lot of people do not. And actually Quicksilver is one of those characters because he's not really that similar with his comic counterpart.
Yeah. His costume looks completely different too.
Oh yeah, that too.
I kind of like his movie costume. What do you think?
Oh yeah. Quicksilver got another costume recently, which is like a purple costume, and it has 3 arrows, which I think kind of looks stupid. But before that, he had another costume. And before that, he had another costume.
Oh, okay.
He's had 4 costumes in the comics.
I really like the costume he has in the X-Men movies, despite how different it is from the comics.
Oh yeah.
But I think it fits the character with just totally silver and the goggles.
Yeah.
The goggles are a nice touch too, because I don't think you'd actually be able to see if you were going that fast.
So I actually really like it. So Quicksilver in the comics, originally he had basically just a green suit, kind of.
Okay.
So he had a greenish. I don't know why I'm hesitating so much.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it. It's sort of a jumpsuit, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, basically a green jumpsuit with a white lightning bolt across the torso area.
That's weird.
And
Why
eventually,
is he Quicksilver if he's green?
Yeah,
Shouldn't
eventually
he be silver.
Eventually the lightning bolt is silver.
Oh,
but,
okay.
And his hair is also silver.
Why does he have silver hair if he's a young guy too?
The green part of the costume eventually gets changed to blue.
Yeah. Because when he runs, it's like a blue flash.
Also, the original Quicksilver has these over-designed shoulder pads, which I just think is weird.
Yeah.
Eventually that changes to more like a skin tight bodysuit, blue bodysuit with a
Yeah,
lightning
yeah, I've
bolt.
seen that. I know that.
Recently in recent times,
Okay.
they've changed it so that Quicksilver has a sort of silver and blue / black costume, which I think is pretty cool. They recently changed that a few months ago, so it's a purple costume.
Okay. Which one do you like better?
I think the silver and blue one, the Uncanny Avengers one from up until recently, was awesome. I'm not quite sure why they got rid of it, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
It was pretty good. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's all we can say about a Quicksilver movie right now.
What else? We have... Oh, also going with what Fox has, we're going to do a review on the new Fantastic Four movie that came out a couple months ago.
Almost a year now, actually.
Wait, really? When did it come out?
August 2015.
I thought it came out... Oh, yeah.
Right.
Dang, it's almost a year
now. A couple months ago.
Shut up.
Jeez.
So, my personal opinion on the FANT4STIC... I think it was terrible.
That's what we have as our topic listing.
Because there's Fantastic Four 2005 and there's FANT4STIC.
Yeah.
I did not like FANT4STIC at all. I thought it was just dumb. No, it wasn't just dumb. It was because the one in 2005 was dumb, but like it was just boring, you know?
Oh yeah.
Also, I know Fox hasn't really made like a good Fantastic Four movie, but
ever.
yeah. The trailer looked pretty good. I gotta say that they had a great trailer for it. It reminded me of Interstellar, actually.
Okay, because I hated the trailer. I thought it looked like, oh hey, you haven't heard from this movie in like months, and here's some clips that we cobbled together into what looks like a trailer.
No, I thought it was like an inspirational trailer.
The only part I enjoyed,
they had like a discount Morgan Freeman with like.
Discount Morgan Freeman.
Yes, that's what he was. And
you should just cast Morgan Freeman as that guy.
Yeah, but no, that would be a waste of Morgan Freeman, man.
Franklin Storm, yeah.
But I thought the trailer was really good. It made it look interesting, I guess. Or I don't know. I didn't really know what to expect, but I liked the way the trailer looked. I thought it was going to be like more sci-fi-ish, like a sci-fi superhero movie that you don't see much of.
Okay.
So I thought it looked pretty good, and then just watching it, it took way too long.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what's your opinion on it?
What's my opinion on Fantastic Four?
On FANT4STIC.
FANT4STIC?
Yes.
Fantastic Four. Why did we put a 4 in the middle
Because
of the
in the title they write it as FANT4STIC.
Yeah, I know. That's. I thought initially I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, I only saw it once because after once I was done.
Yeah. Okay. I actually saw the ending recently. Like, I saw it on TV, and I was like, oh hey, why not watch the last 20 minutes?
Okay.
It's boring.
Yeah.
Not the worst film ever. I thought Miles Teller did a fantastic job.
See, this is what kind of... I thought the casting was good. I thought the actors were talented. I don't know. I really liked the actors. I thought the characters were fairly well-founded. It was just... The plot was just way too slow. They don't get their powers until, like, over halfway through the movie. Where... Oh, my God. That took way too long. And then, how long's the movie about? It's like an hour and a half, I think.
The movie is definitely an hour and a half. Maybe an hour and 45 minutes.
I mean, it feels like long. 3 hours. But, like, they don't get their powers until over halfway through the movie. So, all that time is just a bunch of setup. And then they don't even, like, have a final fight until there's, like, 10 minutes left. That's when their main villain of the movie shows up when there's 10 minutes left. So... It took way too long. Compared to Fantastic Four 2005, which also wasn't a good movie, but it was really good compared to this one. They got their powers, like, as soon as the movie began, it felt like. And Doom showed up earlier. So it was a lot faster of a movie, or everything. It was faster starting. So I think that's why. Gosh,
Okay.
2005 Fantastic Four was better than FANT4STIC. So if something's worse than that movie, then that's not that good.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. Also, are they gonna make another?
I actually agree with that.
Oh, another thing, a problem I had with the FANT4STIC 2015 was that they never like. They're not like superheroes really, and it felt like it was going to be a superhero movie going into it, but they seem like they try to avoid being superheroes almost. Mr. Fantastic is never referred to as Mr. Fantastic. The Invisible Girl is never referred to as the Invisible Girl. Same with
Desi, they almost call them the Fantastic Four at the
Yeah,
end.
they don't even call them the Fantastic Four. There's just like a tease at the end. It's like, we're a team. There's 4 of us, and then the thing goes, "It's fantastic."
It's fantastic.
Say that again.
Yeah. I thought the ending in general was so rushed. It's basically like, oh hey, let's all go 1-on-1 at him. Oh, maybe we should use teamwork, guys.
Yeah, because the final battle only lasted for 10 minutes, which was the only battle in the movie actually.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, they never got to be much of a team. Also,
I like the part where Miles Teller, Reed Richards, goes out and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just chilling on what was he? He's in the forest for all of like 5 minutes or whatever."
Yeah, that was a huge plot hole. So he, at one point in the film, they're like in a scientist lab, being like experimented on, and then Reed Richards like escapes, but he doesn't even have like shirt or shoes, and it's snowing outside. So he's pretty much dead, honestly. He seems to be in the middle of nowhere, and it's cold and snowing, and he's got no shirt and no shoes. He has like a lab coat, maybe.
Yeah, dude.
But
clearly, you do not know how lab coats work. They just secure all of the heat. Have you never been inside a lab coat?
No, I haven't been. I wouldn't know.
Okay.
Dang, thanks, man. Maybe I'll get one for this winter.
Yeah, you probably should.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
But and then they find him a year later, like somewhere in Central America.
You know what?
How did he get there?
I actually think that this movie would be a lot better if they did a ton of time skips. And eventually, we get to the point where it's like old Reed Richards.
No.
Or like in his 40s or something. I think that would be awesome.
No, but I like Miles Teller as Reed Richards.
Because personally, in the comics, the only Fantastic Four I was ever able to get into. So maybe I'm not the best reviewer for Fantastic Four movies, but the only Fantastic Four comic I was ever able to get into was Jonathan Hickman's run. Fantastic. Led directly into the Secret Wars thing that was going on last summer.
Yeah.
Basically rebooted the Marvel Comics universe, for those of you not in the know. Kind of, not really. It sort of just made it go forward 8 months. It's kind of weird.
Okay.
But I thought this movie would be great if it went like, at the beginning, fast forwarded 7 years. Then it goes another 7 years. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that would be kind of interesting. I don't think they could set up a sequel, and I think that's the only point.
Sequel's not happening.
Yeah,
they're replacing that with Deadpool 2.
Yeah, I know, 100%. But when they were making FANT4STIC, they did have a sequel in mind.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
But
it was going to launch the same day as the new Spider-Man movie, actually.
Really?
Yes.
That would have, bombed.
Terrible decision-making.
But
also, you should never plan a sequel to a movie that hasn't come out yet.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the Marvel movies always do that, honestly.
Except they don't.
Yes, they do.
Not really.
They always set up their next movies, Ben. So
yeah, they always
therefore,
do. They always set it up.
They
but
must
never
be planning their sequel to the movie.
Okay, sure.
So,
except you don't announce a movie. Like, you don't announce Justice League 2 when Justice League is about to come. When Justice League hasn't.
They're
years away.
probably planning on making a Justice League 2, though.
I know. They already announced it, actually. That's what I'm referencing.
Okay.
it's coming out 2018 or something.
Oh god, DC. Well, anyway, back to the.
Or maybe they
FANT4STIC.
canceled it after Batman v Superman. I forget.
Well, DC universe is all like plummeting.
Yeah. So.
But okay, back to FANT4STIC.
Yep.
So I think this whole movie was supposed to, like, just be an intro into a sequel.
Oh yeah.
Because I think if they could.
It's a first act. They have like 3 sets for the entire movie. It's literally the first act of a movie.
Yeah.
Just stretched out too much.
Yeah, it's like, so I think if they could have,
Because I like these actors. I like this cast. If there's one thing that Fox is good at for Marvel movies, it's casting.
Yeah, if they could have compressed, like the first hour of that movie, if they could have just made it a lot shorter, then I think the movie would have been pretty good.
Yeah, totally.
Because the main problem I had with it was just way too dragged out and boring. But I liked the cast. I liked the characters. Yeah, the plot was just way too slow. And then, so it goes from like being really slow in the beginning to then speeding up all of a sudden.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
I feel like it's more like a prequel, honestly, to a Fantastic Four movie. It's not really.
Oh yeah.
It's not
This is you. I think at this point you do not need to explain the Fantastic Four's origin, or actually, any superhero's origin.
Yeah.
In fact, you could just say they're mutants.
No,
I don't care.
I like the superhero origins movies, which call me crazy because I know a lot of people don't like them, but I think
You're insane, Desi.
yeah, I do like them. Because I feel like that's the one where you see the most character development in, and I think that's kind of interesting.
Okay.
But, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy.
I think you are actually. I don't think character development happens in an origin movie.
Yes, it does.
I mean, it does, except it's from going to a lame character to a good character. I want to spend the entire movie with a good character. I don't want to spend half of it with, or most of it even, with a bad character.
Well, I guess I get you.
Amazing Spider-Man. Example.
I don't think that was okay. That was more or less the same as the first.
I don't
one.
think it's a bad movie, actually.
I think it's
I think it's a relatively okay movie.
I think it's.
However, Spider-Man in that movie, and even in Amazing Spider-Man 2, honestly, or actually, no, I'm thinking of Amazing Spider-Man 1. Amazing Spider-Man,
Yeah.
even in the end of the movie, is one of the most unlikable characters I have ever seen
No,
in
that
filmmaking.
is not true, Ben.
His last line in the entire movie
Of what? Wait,
of Amazing Spider-Man. Do you remember?
the first one.
Yes, first one. Because it's
No.
going up to Gwen after her dad has died, after he has broken up with her on the day her dad died.
Yeah. Why would he?
Well,
Okay,
his dad told him not to
but
be with her.
the next week in school, like, the teacher says, like, Peter didn't do his homework or something.
Oh,
and
this
then,
is.
Then
He said, "Don't make promises you can't."
don't make promises you
No,
can't
no,
keep. And then
but-
Peter just whispers to
that was
Gwen.
the worst line.
Then Peter just whispers to Gwen, "But those are the best kind." My God, it's so cringy.
Okay, well, to be fair, I think at that time he might have been thinking he was smooth, and that's like kind of like a flirty thing to say.
No,
to
it's
Gwen
not.
Because he
It's
promised-
not. Her dad just died,
well,
dude.
No. Her dad made him promise not to be with her. So he's kind of that's like a flirty response.
No. That's
it's a really
so
Dumb idea.
bad.
yeah.
Just I hate it.
Well, to be fair, I honestly think the love story in The Amazing Spider-Man is better than in the original one with Tobey Maguire.
Oh yeah, no, but I don't think it's the story. I don't think it's the writing. I think it's because Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield were actually dating in real life.
Yeah. Well, no, I like the character Gwen Stacy better. Should be fair.
Because Mary Jane, like, I mean, she's cool, but like, I don't know. She didn't add a whole lot to the plot. She was kind of just pretty all the time. And
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy
I
is like
understand that.
some super smart, hot chick. Like, honestly.
Actually, a problem I have with
Yeah.
the comics
Okay.
and also the movie.
Okay.
Why is Gwen Stacy always like this blonde goddess?
Yeah, exactly. She's like too perfect. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
It's kind of dumb.
She's like the
But-
typical all-American nerd girl or whatever. you know?
Yeah, but like, no.
Except she's not a nerd, actually. She's
No.
super popular.
Yeah,
I mean, she's like the typical all-American
Yeah, she's like a little
girl,
too perfect.
blonde, you know?
And honestly, I think Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker is the same way, except he's not popular in school.
Except Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker is so unbelievably inconsistent.
What do you
That's
mean?
the problem. So he's a skateboarder. He's a nerd. He gets bullied on, but he's also super hot. He's
I mean,
lots of character elements,
yeah.
just that do
Well, no,
not
no, I
mix
think-
together.
I think he's just. Yeah, he's just.
He's an
perfect in
inventor.
every way,
He is-
except he's like bullied at school, which. Doesn't,
Why is he bullied?
I don't know.
I see no universe in which someone
Well,
who
I mean,
looks
he's-
that
he-
good could ever be bullied.
And he's also like super. Well,
He's also
he's,
like,
athletic, and he's like. Super
isn't he
smart.
supposed to be a sports guy?
Huh?
I think
No.
like somewhere in the movie he's supposed to be doing sports.
No, he does sports after he becomes Spider-Man.
Stupid.
What?
It's the concept of Spider-Man is that here's this guy who can't be himself, and when he's a superhero, he can be himself.
Yeah.
They're the same character. They're literally
Yeah.
just the same character.
Well, the point is, when he has the mask on, he's supposed to have more confidence.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and if you notice when he's Peter Parker, he's a lot more serious, and then when he's Spider-Man, he's not very serious at all.
No.
What?
No.
What?
I think they're exactly the same character.
No.
This is a problem that the
No,
even
no,
though
I think though, especially in Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, I feel like he was a completely different person when he became Spider-Man than when he was Peter Parker.
okay.
That's what.
And I feel.
I mean, that's your opinion.
Well, do you disagree with me?
Yeah, I disagree with you.
What? No. Okay.
Um,
Okay. Because when he was Peter Parker, he was always like sad and depressed. I mean, for a good reason, because his uncle was dead, his parents are like dead, and
My parents are dead.
and Gwen Stacy's dad didn't want him to be with her.
That was a weird element of the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
What?
There. Why did we focus so much on his parents?
What do you?
Oh, in the Amazing Spider-Man.
Because in the
show?
comics, there's not much of that at all, and I don't think it's very interesting. Apparently, they're like they were Shield agents or something, but they couldn't do that in the movies.
Oh, they could now though.
They can now though.
Ooh, that would be.
But I don't want them to
interesting.
focus on that. I hate it. I usually hate it, I should say, when movies relate all of the problems that one person has to the origin. Why can't it just be a series of bad things happening?
True. Well, because
I think that Jessica Jones did it fantastically.
that's what they want to go for, is related to the superhero origin, so that.
But they're
way-
trying to tell one story. Amazing Spider-Man is trying to tell several stories.
Wait, which one are you talking about?
Amazing Spider-Man.
Like both of them?
No, I'm talking about the movie called... Yeah, both of them.
Okay.
They both focus on Peter's parents, but the first one doesn't have a reason to focus on Peter's parents.
No, the first one doesn't really focus on Peter's parents.
It sort of does.
How?
They have the intro sequence, which
Well,
is literally just there to explain why Peter is living with Uncle Ben and Aunt May.
Yeah.
And
That's,
I don't think anyone cares.
Huh?
I don't think anyone cares.
Well, people
why...
that don't know Spider-Man would care.
like they'd be like,
No,
"Yo,
because
why is
everyone knows Spider-Man, Desi. I want you
Not
to
everyone.
name one person who doesn't know who Spider-Man is.
Bet there's people
Who's
that-
going to see this movie?
Huh?
Who's
Well,
going to
maybe
see
their
this
friends
movie?
like Spider-Man. I don't know, man. Like, as people, not everyone would know the Spider-Man origin, the complete Spider-Man origin story. So they just go put something really quick at the beginning to explain. Oh, his parents died. Wait.
Okay, so why was that needed though? Because personally, I think that the original Spider-Man movie was better, and it didn't have that.
With Tobey Maguire?
Yeah,
Did it?
and I think that
Wait, no, they did explain why Peter Parker lived with his aunt and uncle, right?
no, they did not.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
It's not a thing that needs to be explained. In fact, the new Spider-Man,
With
everyone loves.
Tom Holland?
Tom Holland, everyone loves. They don't even explain anything.
Well, you don't...
He's just Spider-Man.
Well,
because
you-
everyone knows who Spider-Man is
Well, because
and
we've
why
had
he is who he
two
is.
Spider-Man origin stories in, like, the past... I don't know how many
Yeah.
years. But
So why would people care about his parents, right?
Right. And they don't even explain his origin story, like how he got his powers.
Exactly.
Well, they might actually, in the new Spider-Man Homecoming,
I don't think they will. Yeah, I don't think. I think they've said.
I think they might go over it briefly.
No,
And
they won't.
I swear they better. They need to say with great power comes great responsibility.
They will eventually, Desi.
Because no, it's bugging me how they don't like.
How they never said in the Amazing movies.
Yeah, and they never say it. They come up with some like different way of saying it. Like in Civil War.
Oh yeah, in Civil War, Tom Holland says, when things happen, when bad things happen, and you have power, it's your fault when the bad things happen, or something like that.
He's like, when you have the power to stop them, and then the
Yeah.
bad things happen that you had the power to stop, then it's your fault.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's
Why don't you just say
with great power
comes
great
with
responsibility.
Great responsibility.
Same
Yeah.
with in the Amazing Spider-Man, Uncle Ben says something like, "Your father always said that if you had the power to stop things, then it was your moral obligation to stop the bad things," or something like
Yeah.
that.
In my opinion,
Mhm.
Amazing Spider-Man, just like Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, takes itself
Okay, honestly,
much too seriously.
I think I would put
For its own
Amazing
good.
Spider-Man above Man of Steel.
Oh, I would too. I'm
and
just saying, I think it
Batman
takes
v
itself.
Superman.
I think it has the same problem where every line of dialogue is a speech to some.
No,
some.
but Spider-Man, I don't think he's a very serious character in the Amazing Spider-Man. Like,
I think that's
I mean,
exactly what
he
they were going
could
for.
be less serious. Sometimes though, like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, on the other hand, was like not serious at all.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it got a little annoying. Like that Spider-Man 3 dance, which still bugs.
Why does okay? So just in my opinion, why does everyone think that's a bad thing? I think it's
dumb.
hilarious.
It's funny, but like, cause it's bad and it's cringy too. He's just walking down the street and like dancing and pointing at people. Also, it confuses me because he's dancing to the music, but in the like plot wise, is there supposed to be no music there, or like I don't know. It's just bad. And Peter Parker's like
It's hilarious.
he's like a dick when he does that too.
Oh yeah, no. I think all of
And,
the
like-
emo Peter scenes are absolutely fantastic.
No,
I think they're the
because
funniest
they're
thing out of
bad.
context
No,
ever.
because he's looks really creepy.
Not a Spider-Man thing,
Huh?
but definitely not a Spider-Man thing. But I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that movie is a great comedy.
Well, and also he's like kind of a jerk to everybody. So, Tobey Maguire, he looks really innocent. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
so you can't like take him seriously as being a jerk to everybody. And
Yeah, I understand that.
yeah, I don't know. So I think that was like a little too not serious, or it wasn't serious enough. I think, but
not serious enough.
yeah, I think there's a nice.
You think that because Spider-Man 3 was so not serious, that Amazing Spider-Man had to take itself very seriously
No,
in order to win
Amazing
back?
Spider-Man wasn't even that serious though. He did make some jokes.
He did?
Yeah,
Well, yeah, of course, because he's...
and he wasn't. No, I didn't think.
I think
I
that's an
think-
example of pandering, honestly.
No, I think Peter Parker was very serious, but I don't think Spider-Man was serious. Like when he was Spider-Man, he wasn't very.
No, I think they are both super jokey and stuff. And both of them also take themselves too seriously. It's a weird contrast.
I think
honestly.
no. I think Peter Parker was a little too serious and depressed, and Spider-Man was like super happy and not serious.
Yeah.
So I think.
Okay, I mean, clearly we have different opinions on this.
Okay. So I think the only thing was that was too serious was Peter Parker, because he seemed like a very different person when he was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what storylines are going on with Civil War? I mean, the Civil War Spider-Man, Tom Holland, Homecoming. So how do you think that's going to go?
I think it's probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
There's not much creative involvement from Sony, which is, I think this is like
That's good.
the people who messed it up. So
Well, I think they did a decent job.
I think that after Sam Raimi left, the people at Sony had had no idea what they were doing, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think,
Which is why Amazing Spider-Man happened, because they didn't want to lose the rights.
but to be fair,
Amazing Spider-Man has no reason to exist.
It's entertaining.
It's to make money. It's a bunch of checklists.
True.
It's
Um,
okay. So we have a topic next. We have a final topic. Kind of segues into the one that we were previously talking about.
Okay.
Civil War. What do you think of that?
I thought that was
Ooh, that was
great.
You thought it was great?
yes.
I thought it was pretty good.
Everybody thought it was great, honestly.
I didn't. Initially, I thought, oh, okay, that was okay.
No. Well, I think
Not that entertained.
the problem was they did have a lot of subplots.
Yeah.
And
The movie has a lot of problems.
it does.
A lot of problems.
I mean, it has its problems, but the action is great. That airport scene was totally awesome.
I'm very excited to see Black Panther
Black
and
Panther
Spider-Man.
was great, and Spider-Man was great.
Black
too.
Panther's like the best part of this movie.
He has some like really cool fight moves. Like
Totally.
he did a triple kick on Captain America's shield.
Pachow.
That was sick. Oh, he like jumps up, then 360 kicks, then 360 kicks again, then 360 kicks. I don't think that's possible in real life.
You just said 360 kicks.
Yes, he
Like
okay.
six
no,
times.
Hear me out. He jumps up, spins around, does a kick.
Off of that kick, he spins around again, does another kick, and then he spins around again and does another kick. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I think I do. I think his entrance to the fight scene is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wait, we're talking about Spider-Man, right?
No, I was talking about Black Panther.
Oh, okay. I just zoned out for a second. I was like,
360 kicks. No,
Yep.
no, I'm talking about Black Panther.
360 kicks.
When he was doing those 360 kicks against Captain America, I thought that was pretty sick.
Nice. It was pretty cool.
Spider-Man was cool too.
What do you think about his costume?
I like it. I think it's a bit too baggy in some places.
What? No, that's a tight. Okay, Spider-Man's costume is the tightest costume that's been on.
No, the CGI version is tight.
Yeah.
But I think the actual costume, which we've seen in set pics from, which is filming right now, actually,
Oh, I
Spider-Man Homecoming.
yeah.
Tom Holland's suit is pretty baggy in some areas.
Why is it's so tight in the CGI Spider-Man?
Because he's CGI. It's models. It's spheres and ovals, and it's
Yeah.
it's
But
geometry.
I think it's pretty cool. I like it. I think
It's made out of it looks like it's made out of a different material than it has been in like the Amazing Spider-Man. I'm not sure what it's made out of. It looks like some rubbery stuff. Oh, and he also has the eyes that move.
Oh yeah, I love those.
Those are
Those are
pretty
great.
I don't know how those are supposed to work in real life. Like,
I mean, they don't.
though they're
They just
CG,
don't.
But like,
But it's fiction, you know.
yeah.
It's
I don't know. I still really like it. And I think I don't know. I really like that Captain America movie. That's the best Captain America movie there's been. Also, another cool action scene was that scene with Iron Man, Captain America, and Bucky. That was cool. You know what I'm talking about?
oh yeah, the final scene.
Yeah.
So I've seen the movie twice. The first time, I thought that scene went by way too fast.
Really?
I thought it was kind of just underwhelming. Iron Man's shift is just very quick. And basically he aligns himself with the bad guy, which I don't think is good for a movie about, which for the most part has pretty good arguments on both sides.
yeah.
But it just makes Iron Man the villain. Even
Well,
when
it's a
Captain America
movie.
even when Captain America is in the title. I thought Zemo was a very good villain. He's a lot less
his plan made
one-dimensional.
no sense though.
Oh no, it didn't. It relies on so many things to be assumed.
Yeah, and it could have easily been thwarted. Which, in a
Totally.
way, it was still. But, like, they fought each other. Iron Man blasted off Bucky's arm. Is he going to get a new arm? Or, like... what's he going to get a new arm now?
When's he gonna get a new arm?
I know. He needs
I don't
a new
know.
arm.
He's in cryostasis.
Yeah. And
Bucky
metal
still
arm
has
song.
Sebastian Stan still has 6 more movies
You
left
know,
on his
that
contract.
would be awkward too. So his metal arm is like a beefed up arm.
Oh yeah.
But say he stops working out and like doesn't eat, and his other arm just becomes skinny.
That would look pretty weird.
Wouldn't that look pretty awkward?
Yeah, it would. That would be pretty weird.
That I like that metal arm is really badass though. It looks sick.
Yeah, great. It's yeah. I think Bucky as a character is very intriguing, especially in this movie
Yeah.
specifically.
I don't think I don't see very much Bucky in him though. He doesn't seem like the Bucky from the first Avenger.
Yeah,
He also
but no one remembers Bucky from that movie. He's I don't think anyone cares, you know?
Well, I heard what the creators of Civil War wanted to do is they wanted to make him
I mean, he doesn't.
somewhere in between the Winter Soldier and Bucky.
Well, yeah, except he doesn't remember himself, right? He's not. Eventually he's gonna pick up personality clicks from the old Bucky.
which I think would be pretty cool.
Maybe, I have no idea.
I don't know when we're.
But
gonna
right
see him
now
next.
he's still the Winter Soldier. You know,
There's a chance he might appear in Black Panther because he's in that Black.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That would be pretty sick. I don't know when else he's gonna appear next.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess he could appear in Infinity War. That's a possibility.
Infinity War, they like plan to have a lot of characters in that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Which I don't know if that'll be good or not, but we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
So as of now, it's 4:00. So
It is, in fact, 4:00. Okay, it's time to wrap up here. We will not have a show next week. Maybe the week after. We do not know.
okay,
Yeah. But it's been pretty fun, Desi.
yeah.
I had some fun talking with you about superhero shows. Enjoy what's next. It's gonna be like music for 3 hours.
Have fun.
Have fun.